So what is probably going to be the last video of the day, I don't know exactly, guys. Of course, there aren't that many things to talk about anymore since the dev server is getting fixed, but today was Sunday, right? So nothing really changed on the game itself. But I really wanted to take a look on the aircraft right now and the way that they are right now, and talk about in kind of a list to the worst to the best premium aircraft you can buy. We have a lot of them that are getting at it, and I really wanted to put into perspective what are the ones that you should be looking for if you want to buy something, and the ones that you should not be looking for unless you really love the thing. And we start with this with the sniper, right? The sniper at first looked like something that would be very interesting to have in the game, right? A very cool version of the MiG-29, the first premium MiG-29 in the game. But when you look closely, it's just a normal 912. It does have a better RWR, which means that you will be able to identify what types of targets are targeting you, as you can see on the screen right now, if it's an ADAT, if it's an F-18 or whatever, you know. But the Raider just got turned back to be the N019. You still have the good old R60s, R27s, and non-guided stuff, which means that it is basically what? $80 premium? I think it is a $80 premium, right? Vehicle that is basically just a Tech 3-1 without anything too different. The only difference is the new skin, the RWR, and then Mark 80 bombs that we're gonna show in the hangar, right? So at the end of the day, guys, it's an aircraft that, I mean, yes, it does have a very cool cockpit, as you see. So for you that likes to fly simulator, it is pretty cool. It really is. But at the end of the day, it's just that. It's nothing fancy. I was expecting more. I don't know why I was expecting more. This vehicle is not really something that got into service. So all the plans that they had, unfortunately, didn't go forward, right? So it's kind of sad, isn't it? It has a very weird FOV right now as well, but so although yes, it is a cool vehicle, the MiG-29 is one of my favorite aircraft of all time, probably the most, you know, interesting aircraft for me. But at the end of the day, it is not an aircraft that is worth that much money from what we have. These prices are already pretty expensive, guys, so having an aircraft that it's this for the same price as other ones that we're gonna see, it's kind of complicated. And at the end of the day, the only loadout that it's different is that you can take American Mark 80 series of bombs. You can take the 82 and of course the 83. So that's the only thing. Everything else is pretty much the same. So kind of sad, but it is an aircraft that it's way too expensive for what it is. Another one that it isn't that worth it, but at the same time it is better than the Sniper in my opinion. It is the L39, guys. So I will, like I was saying, you know, the list will go from the worst premium you can buy, in my opinion, to the best one you can buy right now, right, in these new vehicles. So the L39 is the second worst, I would say, but at the same time, it is a fun aircraft. What is the problem with it? Well, the other premiums that got added are much better that we're gonna talk about. But at the end of the day, it is still a pretty interesting aircraft. It is a lot cheaper than some of the others. And like, let's be honest, although it doesn't help the L39 will not be able to grind fully 100% in the best way possible in the higher ranks. It is a lot cheaper as well, and it is a lot more unique than the Sniper, right? So it's an aircraft that will face a lot of props, and it won't be the most interesting thing ever, but it is a fun premium, and it is a fun aircraft. Oh god, I almost killed myself. It is a fun aircraft that it's very nimble, very light. It has a very interesting cockpit. It is a very iconic aircraft. I just killed my my instructor there, but yeah. And at the end of the day, it kind of becomes a very fun prop killer, basically, right? This is what it's gonna be. I don't know how well it's gonna fight, and we're gonna do videos when the actual patch comes out, but it is an aircraft that, although it is fun, it's not that worth it. but it's so cheap compared to the Sniper that it might be worth it. It's not that cheap, but you know, it's a lot cheaper than the Sniper, right? So it's an aircraft that has its appeal, and if you are a collector, you will want to have this aircraft. It is a very, very iconic aircraft in the eastern side of the world. Everybody used this aircraft as a trainer back in the day, so it is a very, very well-known aircraft. Even civilians can buy this thing nowadays, so it is, yeah, we have one actually. I don't know who owns it, but not far from my city there is one that flies around sometimes. So even here in Brazil there are people that bought these things, so like decommissioned ones, right? So it's a very, very interesting aircraft. Not the most interesting thing ever, but it is cool. It is cool. And then another one that is on the third kind of step over here that we are doing, we have a middle ground. Why is it a middle ground? Because this aircraft is a copy-paste, okay? But at the same time, it is a very interesting copy-paste. I already talked about this aircraft in one particular video, but this is the NFA for the Netherlands, right? It is basically an CFA, which means that it's made in Canada with Orenda engines. So it has a little bit more of a stronger engine compared to the F5As, you know, and even can produce more power, more thrust in the higher speeds than the F5E. It loses out in dogfights and stuff. I might release a video that I'm working on doing dogfights with it, and you will see that this aircraft is very light, very nimble, very easy to fly. It has some interesting missiles, the AIM-9Js basically, which is the N in this case, that it's still, I don't know if it will be changed, missile that we have, you know, with the J. And it is an aircraft that it is just very good, very easy to fly, very good BR. You can still grind top ranks with it because it is one rank below the top rank, right? So you can still grind it out with the most efficiency. It's cheaper than a top tier premium, right? Top rank premium, I would say. So it is easy to use, good guns. When it's fully, you know, ready, you will have its own unique cockpit. Like I said, it has in the other video, the tip tanks, which is pretty cool looking. You can have some very cool photos with this. So extra power, a very good RWR. So it's just a very, very good aircraft. It really is. One of the best premiums you can buy for sure, but not as good as the other two that we're going to talk about. I think there's only two of them, right? So at the end of the day, it is an aircraft that I love, and I for sure want to have more stuff like this in the game, you know, although a copy-paste, a unique copy-paste on the very least. So if Gaijin wants to take something from this, is that, you know, the Sniper is okay, it's very cool, but aircraft such as this, as a premium, these are the cool ones, because, okay, they are copy-paste, it's better to have a unique vehicle, that's always better, but if you have to do a copy-paste, at least do a copy-paste like this, that has a bunch of new stuff, or different stuff, that makes this thing be really different, and not just a general copy-paste from what we already have in the tech tree, okay? So, very cool aircraft. I would personally buy this thing. It's just a very, very cool jet, very easy to fly. If you are new to the game, this is just a perfect jet to start off. So, yeah, very, very cool. Then we have kind of a copy-paste over here that it isn't the most interesting thing ever. You know, we already have this aircraft. It is pretty much the same as the American one. But yeah, the F-18C for the Swiss in its earlier model is one of the best premiums you can buy. Although, yes, it is expensive, it is a copy-paste, it is an F-18, guys, so it's kind of hard to not put this thing on a very high BR, especially when this thing is at 12.7, literally the same BR as the MiG-29 Sniper, and this thing is probably much better than the Sniper, right? So, I mean, it is just an F-18C, has the stronger engines, it has the APG-73, it has the amazing turn, of course. It will be pretty much the same vehicle as a top-tier jet, but the main thing, of course, doesn't have AIM-9Ms, and it doesn't have AIM-120s. That's the main thing, right? So you have a worse loadout to be able to have a lower BR and still have a pretty good aircraft. So it is a very interesting aircraft. It doesn't have a helmet, as you see, and it doesn't have a cockpit yet. The radar is pretty good. Even has, you know, ground modes and stuff, so it is a pretty interesting vehicle, and it does use the best Sparrow in the game, which is the P model, which has data link and inertial navigation. So even when it doesn't have the proper methods of tracking, as you see on the radar screen right now, it is still having a radar to be able to or a data link and an inertial navigation to still fly. Does it mean it will get to the target? Sometimes no. Will you get it now? I don't think you will. But yeah, so at the end of the day, it is an amazing aircraft. Yes, it's copy-paste, so you gotta be chilled with that. But it is a very good copy-paste in performance. So yeah, copy-paste, kind of boring, but at the same time, amazing aircraft. So one of the best premiums in the game. So yeah, and I mean, remember guys, this thing has Mavericks, laser guided and TV guided, as you see. It has paveways, it has JDAMs. No, it does not have JDAMs. I thought it had. This symbol is for the JDAM. Why is it here? So yeah, I thought it was a JDAM. It's not, because I didn't read it. But yeah, paveways, you know, so it is a pretty good non-guided stuff. It is just a very, very, very good vehicle, right? It really is. And remember, we do have the EGBU-24B, which is a paveway 3, an advanced paveway, which has GNSS, right, or GPS guidance together with laser. So some very good bombs over here. I would still take the Mavericks. I just prefer them more, especially with the new AA systems. But yeah, just a very good aircraft for ground attacking in a normal tank battle. For example, you just have all the tanks in the game, you know, or in Germany, and you want to buy a premium to help it out to grind even in ground battles. Yeah, this would be the best one, because it basically have almost the same weapons as the, you know, the later model. It's just not gonna be able to defend itself as good, but because of the missiles, but it doesn't suffer. Okay, and last but not least, what I consider the best premium you can buy right now with the new patch, the Mitsubishi F2A TW, what is the name? DTW. It's the XF2 basically, right? A prototype or initial production model of the F2. This uses everything that the F2 uses apart from one missile, the AAM4, the Fox 3, and it has a 13.0 BR, which means that you still have your AAM3s, which is an IRCCM missile. You still have the ability of using it as a radar. You still have the same performance that makes the F2 so good in a turn. And it can even take anti-ship missiles that I'm going to show to you guys later. So it is the perfect premium in my opinion, because it's unique enough. Although, yes, we do have the same aircraft in the tech tree. So indeed, yes, it is technically a copy-paste. But it's a kind of a good copy-paste because it's being launched together with the main aircraft, so it's a brand new aircraft. So if you want to buy something right now, of course, if you're watching this video later, you know, it won't matter too much. This is what I'm saying, right? But at the end of the day, this aircraft, you know, it's very new. Although, yeah, it's an F-16, but it's a new type of F-16. It's one of the best F-16s in the game. And you gotta think that this thing is pretty much, just like the F-18, a top-tier jet that it is at 13.0. It has IRCCM missiles. So it is just a very, very good jet. Really, really good. It has the ability to carry 8 missiles, as you see. Very good air-to-ground capability. It is just one of the best premiums you can buy in the game, if not the best. You know, it's a really, really good premium. Yes, it is expensive, of course, but out of them all, out of all the other ones that we talked about, the F2 is definitely the best one because it's unique enough and it is good enough that it can actually be an amazing aircraft. One thing that you have to buy, right? One thing that you have to consider is that, guys, Japan doesn't really need a premium aircraft to be grinded. Because the Japanese tech tree is very small, right? Of course, it's getting larger with the TIE and stuff, but it's not the largest tech tree ever. It is a little bit, you know, in the older ranks, but to be honest, it is pretty alright. So don't force yourself of buying this thing unless you really want to, because the Japanese tech tree can be a very easy tech tree, and I might die here. Yeah. Well, that didn't work. But yeah, it's a tech tree that in lower ranks it is pretty large, but in the higher ranks, as you see, you only kind of have 3 ranks over here, and you can just focus on getting the F2, so it's not the hardest thing to grind, you know. So for that sake, maybe the F18 is a little bit more worth per penny that you spend, right? But at the end of the day, like I said, the objective here is to talk about the aircraft itself. The F2, I still believe that it's gonna be a more fun aircraft. Yeah, the F18 might be better here and there, it might be, you know, but it's a copy-paste of another F18. This thing is more unique. So although the F18 might do some things better than this thing, I still would take the F2. It's very slim margins, but it is. And you do have JDAMs, which is pretty cool. And you also have the... you cannot see them right now, but the anti-ship missiles, it's gonna have them as well, okay? So very cool skin as well. Just an amazing aircraft, okay? So let me know in the comments what would be the premium that you would buy. Just remember, I still don't have a code for you guys. I will have one eventually, but don't you worry, okay? A code for you, so don't mind me with that for now, you know. But yeah, a very cool aircraft. All of them are very cool. It's just that some of them are cooler than others, right? Very slim margins, especially at the top ranks over here of the list. But yeah, see ya guys. Bye. Subscribe. Leave a like. Bye.